cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexisting, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is Music Monday, and I'm your host, Slash. And with me, I got Comedian 96, K Money, Freddie G. Together, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. On Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Music Monday. Got another great topic for you today, of course. Now, if you was with us last week, you heard the most anticipated albums of 2025. So now that we talked about that, I want to go back and talk about what Rolling Stone consider as the best hip-hop albums of last year, which is 2024. Now, this is a great list, and I didn't think that Rolling Stones was as up on hip-hop as they are, but I can see that they really are with some of the people that they have on this list. And this is in order. We're going to start at number one. So Rolling Stones feel like Doechii was the number one album of 2024. Now, I was able to see a video, and she appeared on a talk show. Mm-hmm. I can't remember which one, but she did a really, really good job. And I'll tell you what I like about her. She's not one of these female artists who's got to have on the tight clothes.
No.
She's showing she's got skill.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to sell sex appeal.
Exactly.
Which is what I think is very important for her. Now, she is out of Florida, and she's the self-proclaimed swamp princess is what she's calling herself because, she talks about, her experiences in bad relationships and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I think the song that I saw had something to do with that. I don't know if it was Denial is a River, but she had a really nice concept to the song, and I like the way she delivered it, and I like the way that she actually did her performance to it. It was really, really good. But yeah, Miami Girl, man, I mean.
When did she release?
So Doechii,
it seemed like it was at the end because I seen all the clips with her.
I was just turned on to her towards the end of the year. But, I know I was sleeping on her.
Yeah, and see, Rolling Stones is not giving me a release date on this, but I think also it had to have been more close to the end of the year because that's when I learned about her.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody sent me an actual video that she did, and they was like, "Man, she's gonna be the next one." And when I saw it, I was like, "Yeah, she is gonna be the next one."
Yeah.
Well, Rolling Stone feel like she is the one.
I actually think so. Her topics is an actual topic, and it's hip hop to me.
Right. Right.
It's like I like it, so you cannot not like it.
Well,
you know what I mean.
When you rap about failed relationships, and drug habits, because she's saying she picked up a drug habit in Hollywood, and I do think that was good. And it may not be talking about herself; she may be just using that as something that she's seen in Hollywood, somebody being on drugs. So she's making songs that others can relate to that's going to be in this type of lifestyle. Because we know that this music and entertainment lifestyle, man, in Hollywood is something else, bro.
So what album would this be for her?
So this, I think it's her first. Alligator Bites Never Heal is the title of the album. And I've never heard of her before. So I'm thinking this is probably her first album.
And the reason why I ask is because I would think if Rolling Stones are looking at the best hip hop albums to come out, right? I would think that they would have numbers or something to go by with her.
Like the sales.
If that makes sense, yeah.
No, they don't mention any of that. They just giving her the number one spot.
I'm hoping they just thinking like us, because I would have given her the number one spot.
Yeah, they just giving her the number one spot, saying that out of all of these people, her album was better than these other people, So she's got the number one spot. And I think for a new artist that takes a lot, because considering the people that's on this list,
Yeah.
she did good. But I mean, I do feel that, because like I say, when I saw her video, I was impressed with what she was doing. So now, last year, here's the second person that Rolling Stones is saying had the best album. Kendrick Lamar, GNX, was the best, one of, the second best album according to Rolling Stones, which had, of course, like that, Future and Metro Boomin was on there, and he had 2 #1 singles off of that album. But You Love War, God Says, No I Don't, and these are some of the titles of his album. Now, I heard 1 or 2 of these albums. I'm sorry, 1 or 2 of these songs myself, and I like Kendrick Lamar. But in reality, a whole album with listening to him, kind of, for me, I like the fact that he's a good artist when it comes to the battle, because we know he kind of shot at Drake and shut his career down a little bit. I like that, but not a whole album for me from Kendrick Lamar. I like he's got style. I like where he's going. But to me, he's like a West Coast conscious rapper.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I ain't gonna say it was his first album. No, the album with swimming pools. That album, that entire album was jamming.
Yeah.
But I agree with you when you say that. I can listen to a lot of his songs, but not the entire album, except for that first album. With Swimming Pools.
And to me, man, it's because his voice starts to get a little squeaky to me, and it's like, okay, I heard that. I'm getting tired of that voice now. But he's good. He's great at what he does. Not to take nothing away from him, It's just, for me, vocal and voices are very important, because I listen to every element in the music and how it all, complements each other. And voices is one of the things for me when it comes to a record that I have to be able to withstand for a long period of time in order to say this is a great artist. So Rolling Stones gives Kendrick Lamar the number 2 spot. All right, sitting at number 3, according to Rolling Stones, Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy Q is out of South Central Los Angeles, and he's got background as both a Crip and a golfer. Now, how do you do that? Don't know. I've never heard of a Crip playing golf, but this is his whole appeal, So he bounces from madness to tranquility in lush, rapid beats. So he's got his own little thing going on, which I can dig that, because in reality, that's really what it's about. Because what I can't say, and I don't think what anybody else can say, is that Schoolboy Q sounds like anybody else. Schoolboy Q has his own thing. Now, because he's a Crip, he's got on his album cover, I don't know if y'all have seen the album cover or not, but he's got his mouth where he's kind of like he's yelling. It looks like he's saying, but he's got blue lipstick.
What?
Blue lipstick. Yeah, that's because of the Crip deal.
Well, now, in all fairness to him, as far as Crip playing golf, look at it this way. Golf is a sport, right?
Right.
Think about a lot of gang members who play basketball in high school or play football.
You got a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I guess it can be done, and he's showing both sides of being a golfer and a Crip. So he talks about relationships, regrets, commitments, stuff like that, but it is on a maturity edge. So it may be worth checking out Schoolboy Q. Like I say, I haven't heard it, but Rolling Stones is saying he's in 3rd place for having the best album last year, of 2024. So now sitting at number 4 is Mavi with Shadowbox. That's the name of his album.
Who?
Mavi. Now, I've never heard of Mavi.
Yeah, that's why I said who.
Spell that slash.
M-A-V-I.
Mavi, okay.
So I've never heard of him, but if he's on this list, obviously he's in there. And maybe he's just a little bit away from our time frame of what we would normally listen to. I don't think that's pretty much him. But he's got a track called Drunk Prayer. And I think that song is what kind of set him to the top for Rolling Stones to say, hey, man, this guy's good. Because it had to have been a song that somebody that heard this and said, man, this dude album is it. And most of the time when you hear one good song from an artist, you want to hear what the rest of the stuff is. So obviously he had enough within that one song for the people to say, man, let's check his album out.
Drunk Prayer.
Drunk Prayer, yeah.
I can imagine what that would be about.
Yeah, and that's the lead single for that album. So it's got to be pretty good, you know.
Gotta be.
So he told Rolling Stone that the song, like the rest of the album, reflects where he's been personally coping with unstable self-esteem, you know. So I can see where that would be a creative album, to be able to admit that you have unstable self-esteem. I mean, seriously, you know, you have to be a strong person to admit this. You know what I'm saying? That's Mavi is a strong guy, man, to admit he got unstable self-esteem. That means sometimes he's sure about himself and sometimes he's not so sure about himself. You got to be a strong dude to feel like that, you know, or put yourself out there like that. All right, so let's move on to number 5. All right, sitting at number 5 is Tyler, the Creator. Now, I've always gave him props on his style, his cadence, the way he creates his songs as far as his beats matching his lyrics. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that Tyler, the Creator, is also producing some of his stuff, which gives him really, I mean, he get a thumbs up from me. He's got an album called Chromacopia, and it's something like his version of Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, if y'all heard Kendrick Lamar song. But Tyler, the Creator, man, like I say, he's very creative.
Yeah, he is.
I give him his props. When I first heard him, I was like, man, this young guy, he's really doing something different. What I think about Tyler, the Creator, he's not going on this cookie cutter, you know, talking about what other rappers talk
Right,
about.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
He not worried about the cars, the clothes, the jewelry. The man got a concept, and he's being creative with the stuff that he's doing. So, I mean, I agree with Rolling Stones. And before I would move him from this place, I still kind of want to hear who's behind him.
I got a question. Now, not that this matters, but is he gay?
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
I don't know.
My daughter loves him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. She's the one that told
And
me.
I want to kind of say I heard something about him coming out at one
He's
point.
openly.
Yeah, he openly
He'll
with
talk about it without. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen him on podcasts talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's doing pretty good, and like I say, I give him his props for his creativity. And we had a show also where we mentioned him having a clothing line and stuff like that. So I think he's doing pretty good in his career, especially for Rolling Stones to say, hey, this dude is number 5.
Real shit.
You know,
I mean, I wasn't a fan when I first was introduced to him, but the more I listened,
Yeah.
you know,
The more you became.
I'm starting to,
Yeah, he pretty good.
Now, I haven't heard really a lot of his music, but like when you listen to it, K Money, when you started listening to him, do you hear, is he talking about like sexual stuff?
Yeah, he mentions it, but Tyler, the Creator, is just what his name is. He'll talk about anything.
Yeah.
You know, he'll make, you know how you have similes and stuff
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
lyrical.
His videos
Yeah.
will coordinate
With what he's saying.
Yeah.
So to get a better visual of his creativity, you got to watch his videos.
Watch his videos. That's the best way.
And the reason why I'm asking is because, like, again, not that this matters, but because I'm heterosexual, and if he is on the other side, I'm wondering if his music is laced with that type of activity.
No, I haven't.
No.
I haven't heard him.
He's not like that other look. Yeah, like Nas.
Yeah, I haven't heard him mention that
No.
in his
Okay.
album.
He don't talk about
Okay.
guys or what.
But he's creative in a sense of what he talks about, you know.
Okay.
And if he is talking about it, he's disguising it in a way that we can't tell that that's what he's saying.
Okay.
Which I also think is a good approach.
Yeah.
To that, because now you're not being judged
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
a certain amount or a certain group of people.
He's a good performer too, man. If ever you watch him or get a chance to see him on any of these award shows, he puts on a good show.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's really. I'm telling you, he's creative. So now we're gonna move on to number 6. Now, Chief Keef is number 6, according to Rolling Stones. He had the 6th best album, according to them, Rolling Stones, of course, in 2024. So he released a mixtape, Almighty Soul, in 2013. Obama was the president at the time. He was 18-year-old from Chicago. So he was a symbol of street violence. And I can kind of remember some of the videos and stuff, and I kind of think he ended up getting in trouble in his own town and had to leave for a little while. And I think he did some time. He got charged. I think he went to jail for something. Don't remember exactly what it was, but that mixtape really solidified Chief Keef as a rapper, you know. I watched something years ago where they were in his city. He was doing, I guess it's like a little documentary film deal that he had, and he was going to, you know, in his city doing performances, and he had a camera guy following him around. And it was very interesting to see, you know, Chief Keef doing that, because he was a new artist at the time. But anyway, he's 29 years old now. Started out at 18, but he's 29 now, so he's been around for some years. Look like 11 years, of, if not more, right now in the
And I don't
music
know
industry.
one song he sing. That's sad.
But have you heard of Chief Keef before?
I've heard of the name.
Now-
But
And-
Waka Flocka, I don't know what he sings.
And see, that's what I'm saying. For him to be here on this list, I haven't heard a Chief Keef song in a long time.
Yeah.
But he's here on this list as number 6. So I got to give a shout out to him for being on this list, according to Rolling Stone. Now, this next guy, I'm going to see if I can pronounce this name right. Don't know if I'm going to get it right. Sabibi Sahin. Y'all have heard this guy?
No, I don't know.
Sababi Sahin. Sababi Sahin.
No.
Or Sababy Sahin.
UK rapper?
Either way, yeah, well, let me get to that. Either way, this guy, he started in November. No Advance Promo took over the rap internet. Took over the internet. So what he was, obviously, he was a social media star, overnight success type thing. Now, how does that happen? Because what I know about any musical artist or any group, you have to have some sort of promotion. And a lot of times, years ago, when record sales were in, people were shipping at 1 million, you know, hoping to sell that 1 million in the first week. So now it's a little bit different. So how did he do this? I have the slightest idea. But over the past several years, he established himself as a reliable source of inventive, ambitious raps. So his album is called Viking. Don't know what he's talking about, haven't heard it, but obviously Rolling Stone knows something about this. So if you haven't heard of it, and this is just strictly for the listeners, if you haven't heard of this guy, I mean, kind of go and find some information on him. See if you like it. If you do, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about it. I'm going to go back and do that myself because I'm mentioning this guy and I've never heard of him. So I think it's only fair that I give it a shot to listen to something that he's got. So anybody listening, if y'all want to do so, feel free. Totally fine. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. We can talk about it. But the album, Viking, is incredible. They are saying he did his part. He told Rolling Stone that low-key rollout was less intentional and more of a result of being focused on the music. So he didn't intend for it to do what it did after dropping it on the internet, but it did. All right, so we're going to move on to number 8. Vince Staples got an album called Dark Times. Don't know if y'all heard of that. Vince Staples is out of Long Beach, California, is where he was raised. He depicts himself on a wayward road. He's got a track called Black and Blue. Now, what that sounds like to me, Black and Blue sounds kind of like police officer and civilian. You know what I mean? Which are you gonna, you know, I don't know what he's meaning by that, but that's what that sounds like.
You don't see they don't have a picture of that dude, do they?
They don't have a picture. They got his album cover, and it's not really much. He's got a noose hanging,
Okay.
but that's all.
See now, The title of the album is called Dark,
Dark
Times.
Times, yeah.
Now you got a noose hanging on your album. That tells me that
You
that's
militant, probably.
some suicidal or depression. Dark Times.
Yeah, because
And then Black
Yeah.
and Blue. That sounds like abuse.
yeah, because look, he's saying that so many people want him to crash and die. So he's got this feeling. Kind of sounds like the other guy we talked about, where the self-esteem probably is not as strong as what it should be. But he's 31 of age, so you know he's got some real life encounters that he's probably talking about. And I would like to hear, you know, he's saying that his 31-year-old album is different from him rapping at 17 years old. So he's matured, I guess, in certain areas where now he's able to speak about life. So we're going to move on. That was Vince Staples at number 8. We're going to go to number 9. Rock Marciano. Marciology is the name of the album. Never heard of this guy.
Nope.
But he produced 10 of the 14 tracks on his album, giving himself a broad canvas. So what that tells me about him is that he's a producer and he's able to create the types of songs that other people, I'm guessing, can get with. But if he's made difference, then he thinks out of the box, is what it sounds like to me. Some of the album sounds like he's creeping through a horror movie. So he's making the tracks that he's making are probably these sinister, you know, tracks where it sounds like somebody's gonna jump out at you or something, you know.
Old school gangster nip.
Yeah, right. Kind of a sense, which is really what Gangsta Nip was doing.
Horrorcore.
Horrorcore, right.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, he went diamond on one of these songs, Quintessential Rock, which is a lush string chop and shimmering cymbals. And then he's got a song called True Love. But like I say, I've never heard of him. But again, I think I'll give it a chance and pull up some Rock Marciano to see what he's got going on. Because again, I've never heard of him. But the title of the album again is Marciology, which Rolling Stone said he was great. He was number 9 last year. So this one, I'm kind of upset about the order now. Now as I get closer, we near the middle of this. So now I'm getting upset because you got my boy in the middle. Man, this dude should have been number 1, if not number 2 or 3.
Yeah.
J. Cole. Might Delete Later is the name of his album. Now, why would you put him at number 10? Rolling Stones, I don't know why. Y'all did it.
The people I've heard so far, I would have put J. Cole at 4.
Yeah, J. Cole would have been
the first 3 would have been right where they need, and then J. Cole would have been 4.
I agree. He'd have been closer to the bottom or closer to the front, top of that list. Excuse me. So he got a song called Sticks and Stones. He got a song called Sometimes I Be Flying, Hunting Wabbits, Crocodile Tears. I mean, J. Cole within itself is a very creative, very conceptual artist to me. I mean, he was the next greatest thing when it came to style, like you have T.I. After T.I., I think J. Cole was the next very lyrical, stylish rapper that I heard. And number 10 for me is just not fitting. But then, of course, you got these newer artists that, of course, the door is open for them. But I think J. Cole should have been further down. But it's not my list. It's Rolling Stones.
Hey, Slash, name some of those songs again off his album.
So he's got Hunting Wabbits.
Okay, that's the only one I really wanted you to hear. I wanted you to say again.
Hey,
Hunting
just
Rabbits.
like that.
You're hunting rabbits. I knew that's what he was going to hit.
Hunting Wabbits.
I just want to make sure
it doesn't matter. I the W, the R. I'll get them both. It doesn't matter.
But that's what he called his album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, again, like I say, very creative dude, man.
Yeah.
We know who used Wabbits.
Yeah.
You know, that's Bugs Bunny. You know, not
Elmer
Elmer Fudd.
Fudd.
Yeah, Elmer Fudd used to say that wascally wabbit. So, J. Cole, shout out, man. You know, I wish if it was me, man, I'd put you closer down, nearer to 1, rather than at this number 10 spot. All right, so now I think this was good. She's been out. She's been hot. Everybody likes her. She's got these new songs. So Lotto is marked at number 11 according to Rolling Stones with Sugar Honey Iced Tea.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
She's of course she's from Atlanta. So she's got that Atlanta, Georgia peach sound. You know, kind of like Sexy Red a little bit. They kind of got the same fit to me. And this
She ain't as
stank.
Yeah, it stank. She ain't as gruesome as.
Man, she's beloved in Atlanta. I seen I don't know if y'all watch this talk show called Fat Joe Talks.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of it.
And I think T.I. was on one of the episodes. T.I. was on one of the episodes, and he took Fat Joe to the Trap House or whatever, to his Trap House museum, and they was honoring Lotto there.
Yeah,
And she was like the trap queen or whatever deal.
she names herself Big Mama. So I've seen some of her Instagram posts where mainly what she's doing, she's posting pictures and she's giving you just a little bit of her day, which I always think is good for an artist. And for her to be a female artist, I think she goes with the sex appeal, but she's not too over the top with it, you know.
Now I remember her when she was younger. She used to be on Jermaine Dupri's show called The Rap Game, where he used to take these kids, and her name was Mulatto.
He's got another show,
and I remember her when she was a kid. On there.
So yeah, she's good. Sugar Honey Iced Tea is the name of the album. I'm sure most of our younger generation that listens to the show, I'm sure y'all know who Lotto is. I catch a couple of songs from her every now and then when I'm checking out the radio. But she's at 11, according to Rolling Stones, in Best Album of 2024. Now, y'all gonna like this guy. He's out of Dallas. He's a big guy.
The biggest. The largest. Oh, I'm sorry.
I F with him.
Yes.
Yeah, Big X the plug.
Yeah, I fooled that dude.
got him. Yeah, I
fooled
got my
that
little
dude.
dance for his biggest, the largest.
I like him.
Now, the standout track, 2 a.m., is the Isley Brothers cut. Where he's got the Isley Brothers sample in there. So, man, that's a ballad, of course, and he explores romance in this song.
Yeah. The whole entire album is 31 minutes and 14 seconds. You ever listen to the whole album?
No, I haven't.
It's only 31 minutes and 14 seconds, the whole entire album.
Sleeping on them, man. I mean, I've heard of them. I just haven't been listening to them.
Yeah, he go hard.
He go hard.
He go hard.
Yeah.
I can remember one day, it may have been last year, we were here and we were about to, of course, start recording. And we listened to some Big X, the plug. And he had a similar sound
To Finesse Two Times.
to Finesse Two Times.
Yeah.
That's a Houston artist. Is Finesse Two Times from Houston? But I know
think
he's
he's
he's not.
He's from Memphis, but
he's
signed with Jay.
with Jay Prince,
Prince.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't
So
even know if Izzy from Memphis.
I don't know where
I thought
he's
he was
from, but
Memphis. I thought it was from
I don't
Memphis
know where
or
he's from.
somewhere.
now I do know that he did some recording here in Houston with the Rap-A-Lot label, in which that's where he's signed to. But Big X the plug kind of to me had a similar sound to Finesse Two Times. So they kind of sounded familiar to me. But Big X the plug sits at number 12 according to the Rolling Stones. All right, so now at 13, never heard of this person, never heard of this album, Tierra Whack.
Tierra Whack.
The
Not
name
Whack.
of the album, Worldwide Whack.
It better not be whack.
Tierra Whack exhibits a sonic setting featured of her debut studio album, Worldwide Whack. So this is her first album.
Where is she from, does it say?
So not sure where she's from,
Okay.
but they're saying that she's got a song called Imaginary Friends. She got a song called Numb. She's got a song called Difficult. So I'm trying to, as I'm looking at the names of this, I'm trying to come across, her personality in a sense of what she's talking about. But these approaches make Worldwide Whack a fun and kind of diversively or disoriented merry-go-round of despair on the album. So I'm guessing she's going through a lot of stuff,
A disoriented merry-go-round.
Yeah, so you see what that is. This mental anguish or something in there that she's got going on. So again, have to give her a chance. If some of our younger listeners, if y'all heard it, Tierra Whack, Worldwide Whack. If you haven't heard it, give her a shot. Go take a listen to it. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. I'm going to do the same. All right, moving on to number 14. Another guy I haven't heard of, but then again, this is Rolling Stones. This is a big world. Denzel Curry.
Now, I've heard of him before. I've actually heard of him. I ain't never listened to none of his music, but I've heard of him before.
Yeah, so it was a good year for him, I'm guessing, because Rolling Stones is saying many rappers watched him come up early in a streaming era and started to mature in his sound. So he's probably been around for a while. And most artists, when we hear of them, that's not their first album.
Right.
You know, so a lot of times these artists have been doing it for years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. We just never know. So I'm sure something gave him the initiative to take off. So Southern rap sounds is where he's at. So when you say Southern rap sounds, the man got a song called Still in the Paint. So he was on Waka Flocka's generational hit, Hard in the Paint. So I'm guessing he's, okay, there it is. K-Money, ATL. That's where Denzel Curry is from. He's from ATL. So they're saying he's an innovative, sensible musician. So I'm not sure if he's producing tracks or what, but he's saying that his trajectory is going to be, you know, much better than some others. So shout out to Denzel Curry, sitting at number 14 according to the Rolling Stones. Now this one, kind of not. I'm upset with this one, but I'm okay with this one because we in there. She puts us in every list that goes on. Every time we do a list, she makes sure Houston is there. Can't knock her for that. She does her thing. She's straight out of South Park, y'all. Give it up. Number 15, Megan Thee Stallion.
That's what's up.
Okay.
And that album is Megan Act 2. So she's on, you know, I guess Megan Act 2. Did she do a Megan Act 1?
I don't know. I'm not a big Megan.
I'm a fan because she from the age, but
Yeah,
honestly,
that's-
I'm not
yeah.
listening. I haven't
Yeah,
listened.
I'm
to
a
it.
H-Town fan, but as
So-
far as going to...
So
yeah.
now look what Rolling Stones call her. She's the powerhouse Texas rapper. Not powerhouse Texas female rapper. Powerhouse Texas rapper. That states male or female. That's
Nah,
the one.
she is not that.
She's the only one putting us on the map, bro.
Fact.
Well, when you look at it nationwide,
Is that fact?
Yeah, when you look at it
Yeah.
nationwide,
Nationwide.
right now,
Meg, the
nobody.
only one that you hearing about for
Meg is the only one.
Yeah, you got a point. I guess you got a
Now,
point.
now they said Texas rapper.
Yeah.
Now I will say this. There's somebody on the list who's a Texas rapper. He's just from Dallas.
Yeah.
Big
Big
X
Big
X
X
Plug.
the plug.
Yeah.
But
So when you think of Texas as a whole,
Yeah.
these rappers nationwide,
But now he was higher than her on this list. You know, he was in a better spot than her. But the fact that she's here, I'm okay with. You know, I would give her closer to number one, but I'm okay with her being on the list because it shows up for Texas. Considering where she was, I would expect this next artist to have been further up towards the front too with the name that he's got. But she you know, did better than him. Now, number 16, according to Rolling Stone, is Future with his mixtape Pluto. Now, he's in with mixtapes, man. He don't even have to do complete albums. Most of the stuff that Future does is mixtape material. But what Future has done was created his own lane. He took that auto-tune deal and he made it his own. And he made other rappers try to sound like him, but they can't do it because he's got a distinguished sound. No matter what Future song you listen to, it's going to be a lot of similarities in that song. It's going to be him ad-libbing behind it with auto-tune, kind of singish type of thing, you know, and he's going to have his rapping going on. He's going to rap and sing, and his beats are going to be produced by Metro Boomin. So he's gonna hit you from every angle, and I think he does sound good. So I'm okay with Future being on this list. I just feel like he may have been a little bit further down, as well as Megan Thee Stallion and J. Cole. I think they deserve some of those 3, 4, or 2, spots or something like that.
I haven't heard of anything out from
Not from
Future this
in a minute.
last year.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Nah, I didn't, but like I say, it's a mixtape. So
Oh, okay, mixtape.
you probably have to go on YouTube to find it. You know, it's probably not going to be something that's going to be in stores, or you probably, if you hear something on the radio, it's going to be because he featured on it. All right, so shout out to Future. We're going to move on to number 17, Mac Homie.
Never heard of him.
Rich Ass Haitian is the name of the album. So he's a Haitian, and since his new album, 2021, Pray for Haiti, is one of the songs that he had on there. I think this is what kind of helped push him to the limelight, or, where people were able to actually see and hear about him. But the album premiere virtual listening event seemed designed to do the opposite of going viral. But obviously, he went viral. Never heard anything from this dude, but of course, I'm willing to give it a shot, see what he got going on. Never heard of him, but he's got a couple of songs on there. Now, I don't know where he's coming from with this album, what type of emotional deal is going on, if emotional at all. Don't know if he's gangster. I don't know much about him, but I do want to give him a shout out for being number 17, according to Rolling Stones. Number 18, not familiar with this person. Y'all might be familiar with him. Cash Cobain.
No, I ain't never heard of him.
him.
So his album is called Play Cash Cobain. Never heard of him, but he's on this list at number 18. So he takes the old R&B, and I guess he shapes it for the new fans, and they might not know anything about the music that he's using, which is kind of what hip-hop is about. Just the fact that most of the artists that we're familiar with would use a song that we were familiar with.
So he's sampling
He's
songs,
he's sampling old songs and
old R&B songs.
And because he's a younger generational person, he's taking songs that we know
Big X doing the same thing.
and introducing them to the young, which is where hip hop has always been. So he's on the right page.
Yeah. I'm not mad at him for that.
He's on the right page. But I think, he's got a little more time to grow on us. But like I say, I'll give him a chance to understand what he's going through. So moving on, number 19, according to Rolling Stone. Have y'all heard of Skywater?
No.
New dude, age 20. He's 24 years old. Stretch their arms towards the future. He has textures that linger with repeat listens. So I'm guessing his music is more on a sub. I can't even think of the word I'm trying to use, but I'm guessing it's a mellow type thing, because he's probably got these smooth sounds. He's got a song called Rain, so that kind of tells me that he's probably not too gangster, unless he's talking about making it rain. Don't really know, but the album I think is just over 30 minutes. It's not a long album, which would be good to give a shot to listen at. So according to Rolling Stones, number 19, Skywater, the album is titled Gigi. So that sounds like he would be made something for his grandmother. But his album cover kind of looks like what's that painter's name, the famous painter?
Picasso?
No, not Picasso.
Rembrandt.
Van Gogh.
No, the one that they're saying Jay-Z's supposedly.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Basquiat.
I know you're talking about.
Basquiat,
Yeah, something like
however
that.
you
I know what you're
pronounce
talking
it.
about, yeah.
This is what his album cover looks like, a drawing of, like that painter actually created his deal. So he's got a person in there, 2 people on there, and you can see that one person's holding like a gun, and then the other person's holding a knife. And I'm not sure, what the moral of that is, but I'm guessing it's a little gangster. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. We at number 20, according to Rolling Stone, Child Lee, Sex Drive. Y'all ever heard of that?
No.
Never heard of it. Well, anyway, he's there. He's on there. So I'm guessing if he's on there, he's in there. If to the listeners, if y'all never heard of Child League, give him a chance. See what he's got. But he's a UK rapper, so he's from another country, which is always good to hear. And he's got cinematic music. So to me, that tells me he's probably got a lot of sounds like orchestra sounds in his music, cinematic, because you got strings, orchestra sounds, horns, and stuff like that. But again, he's got the album is called Sex Drive. Give it a shot if y'all want to check out something new. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to come back next Monday with a really great show. Plan to see y'all there. Y'all come back.
Peace. So that's all, y'all, for this edition of Music Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow and check out True Tuesday with K Money. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, D52 Scott Podcast. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast.